Good morning, dear students, and welcome to the second class of this week for social science. Children, I firmly believe that you people have gone through the chapter very carefully. You people have listened to the explanation very carefully, and you must have gone through the content again to make yourself double sure that whether the portion which was explained in the previous class was comprehended by you or not. So children, to begin with the next natural resource, which is soil, let us quickly recap of the points which we discussed. As the chapter says, children, it is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. So we covered land. Now under land we studied the importance of land, why land is so important for us, how come land has become the most important natural resource. Then we did the land utilization, what land usage we people make of. Then we did common property resources, isn't it, where we discussed that the community lands are also called common property resources. Then we did change in the land use over a certain period of time. After that, children, we covered conservation of land resources. Then we did what impact do landslides may put, and then what are the strategies to come up with the landslides. So what are the strategies to stop landslides? So we did those techniques. And now after land, let us study the second important resource, which is soil. Children, soil we all know is the top layer of the earth's surface in simple words. Now if you open the chapter through PDF which is being sent by your class teachers, you must have seen that very cute little diagram of soil where the soil profile is showing you 4 demarcations, where it has been demarcating, where it has labeled each layer very nicely and very in a different way, beginning with the base of the soil, beginning with the lowest level is the parent rock. Children, where you could see when the rock word comes, you can always think of parent rock, big pebbles like features, rocks. So the first level of the soil profile is parent rock. Coming above, the second level, children, is weathered rock material. Weathered is, children, fragmented rock material, which is weathered, which is little broken, not those parent rock but weathered, which is broken down into smaller pieces. Now after second layer, third layer, going from base, third layer is subsoil with sand, silt and clay. Subsoil means from top, it is not that fine layer. So sub, when sub word is added with a word, means a part of it, sub assistant, sub so and so. So sub word always focuses to an attached version of something. So subsoil means not the main part of the soil but subsoil with sand, which contains sand, which contains silt and which contains clay. And yes, covering the fourth layer, the top layer, the topsoil with humus and vegetation. So children, please go through the diagram and practice as this is a very important diagram for this class 8's geography book. And yes, it holds lot of important features, like you first of all you will get to know the clear content of the soil profile. Then it holds lot of weightage in your social science exams, children. Now if you see the chapter further, children, we are going to study now factors of soil formation. In the first part we discussed the soil profile. Actually what is actually the structure of soil is. Knowing that structure, that yes, it is divided into 4 different parts: parent rock, weathered rock, then subsoil and topsoil. We will now see what are the actually factors behind the formation of this soil, isn't it? So now we will see that what factors, what are those things which combine together and hence soil is formed. So the factors are, children, which are bringing in together to compile and produce soil are: number 1, the most important, climate; number 2, time; Number 3, parent rock. Parent rock tells you the base rock, what actually the base is comprising of. So parent rock. Number 3, relief. Relief, as you all know the features, what kind of relief that area is particularly having, whether it is a mountainous area, whether it is a plain, whether it is a deserted area. So that also plays a very important role. And children, the 5th is flora, fauna and microorganisms. So these 5 factors compile together and hence soil is formed, children. Now, I'll explain you one by one, children. Climate. Children, we all know climate all over the world is not different, is not same everywhere, children. We all have different types of climatic conditions everywhere. So, the climate enables us to know that what climate strategies are there, what climate is focusing on the formation of land, formation of soil. For example, if you talk about the tundra region, the polar regions, children, do you find the same fertility of soil which you have in these temperate areas, tropical areas? Children, no. So the climate talks about intensity of heat, coldness, everything which is apt for the formation of soil. You cannot have this kind of soil formation in the polar regions. Since all over the year the region is almost frozen, you cannot see the formation of this level of soil. Hence, climate plays a very important role. Time. Children, time holds another place in formation of soil. For example, you cannot have formation of soil in just 1 or 2 days. Children, that top layer of the soil which we see is being formed after millions and thousands of years. So this level comes to attainment after several years of time. So the second important factor is time. Alright, now third, the parent rock, children, the base rock. What base we are giving for the formation of soil. So the third important is base, the parent rock. Then talks about the fourth. The fourth is relief features. Then we have climatable situation where climate is favorable. We have seen that time since so many years this place is having the formation of soil. Then what parent rock was there is giving the base. Relief is that area, a deserted area, no matter good climatic conditions are there, no matter a lot of time, so many millions of years have been given to that place, no matter what time period is being given. If the deserted area is there, you cannot have this fertile soil, since the parent rock will be, the base will be sandy in texture. Alright, children? So relief is the fourth important factor for soil formation. Now let us come to the fifth factor, which is flora, fauna and microorganisms. We all know flora, which is the vegetation part, fauna, which are the animal. Children, the excretion and the flora, the dead and decayed part of plants and animals, plus the excretional activities of these fauna are being mixed with the soil, with the top layer of the soil, to make it more fertile. So flora and fauna hold another important place. Apart from this, microorganisms. Children, you all have been knowing the importance of microorganisms. Microorganisms are helping to degrade the fragments, the dead and decayed part, into further and further smaller pieces, so that they get mixed with and they get bind with the soil completely, enabling the soil to form that fertile base, children. So again, I'll recap the 5 points: climate, time, parent rock, relief features, flora, fauna and microorganisms. I hope, children, the content is clear to you. Now let us see, after formation of soil, we'll see what is degradation of soil, children. So degradation of soil, children, is anything which is leading to the deterioration of the soil, means the downfall of the soil. Degradation, something which is causing its downfall. Number 1, soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to soil as a resource. Children, we all know erosional activities. Maybe it is due to wind, maybe it is due to action of water. Whatever action, soil is being eroded. When winds blow, the top part of the soil is eroded. When rain occurs, the water carries the top fertile part with it. So these are erosional activities. Then these erosional activities are major threat they are the biggest, threat. They are the biggest reason for the degradation of soil, children. Then the second point, children, both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soil. How? Both human and natural factors. Natural factors can be natural calamities, for example eruption of a volcano, then landslides which have pushed the top land of the rock into beneath of the surfaces. Then human activities, children. Human activities are just activities simply done by us. We are being in the race to come first, to have that big buildings, infrastructural resources, having more and more setup of malls, different housing societies. Ultimately we are putting lot of pressure over land. So children, both human activities and natural factors can lead to degradation of soil. Now, I'll give you some examples. For example, deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizers or pesticides, rainwashing, talks about erosion, landslides and floods. Floods are nothing but when the river water reaches its extreme height, it erodes the top layer of the soil, hence soil is being degraded, children. So these are some examples of human and natural factors which are putting a threat on soil, which are leading to soil degradation. Now children, once we talk about a certain topic, that what is its meaning, how it is formed, what are the threats being put on it, then obviously when we are knowing that soil is being degraded, we need to talk about, can you guess? Yes, you guessed it correctly, conservation measures, children. When we are talking about degradation of any natural resource, of course we have to talk about conservational measures of this resource. Now let us see what are the certain conservation measures through which we can conserve or we can protect our soil resources, children. One by one I'll read and I'll explain, but for that you need to again look into your chapter content. Number 1, mulching. Children, the bare ground between plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. It helps to retain soil mass, soil moisture. So through mulching, when bare ground between plants is covered, bare is which is having no vegetation. So between plants, that bare ground can be covered with organic straws, organic matter. So it will help the protection, help in protection of the soil. Then second conservational measure is contour barriers. Contours are nothing but telling you the heights. So stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along contours and are made in front of barriers to collect water. Once water flows over a layer of the soil, it is going to erode the top part. Once we put barriers, heighted barriers, water will not be able to erode the soil. Hence, we are saving the soil resource, children. Third, rock dam. Rock dam. Again, you can clearly get the meaning from the name. Rock is some only telling you huge pieces of rock. Dam, something which is checking the soil erosion. Now, rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water. These prevents gullies and further soil loss. So for example, a river is, this is the soil base and my second hand is the stream of water. Stream of water is coming, so it is picking up all the fertile part and it is going. Now, once we place rock dams, rocks are going to hold the water there and will prevent the formation of soil erosion or gullies. Alright. Now, fourth is terrace farming. Terrace talks about the height. You all know where is your terrace? At the top of your house. So, terrace farming. In places like mountainous areas, children, since there are slopes, how are we going to protect? Suppose this is a slope, this is a mountain and water is falling. Water is going to erode the top layer of the soil. So, to stop the soil erosion, we are going to build short features like stairs they are known as terrace. So when we are making stairs like feature, covering it with building barriers, we are going to hold the soil over these steps or stairs like features. Stairs like features. How do you connect yourself to a terrace of your house? Through staircase? Yes. Similarly, a slope can be having the retention of soil, can have the conservation of soil through terrace like features, stairs like features. You all have seen pictures of mountainous areas where agriculture is being done through terraces like features, stairs like features. So that is terrace farming. Next is, children, intercropping. If you talk about general land where cultivation is being done, intercropping is known as two different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rain wash. For example, one row different crop, second row another crop. So at different times we are sowing those crops so that we are not letting that land wash off with its top part of the soil, children. Now, after intercropping, contour plowing. Plowing parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. Contours are talking about heights. Plowing is building barriers, children, to stop the flow of eroded part of the soil, so that the water should not erode away the top part of the soil. These barriers through contour plowing are going to help in retention of the soil. And the next is shelter belts. In the coastal and dry region, children, where lot of moisture is not available, rows of trees are planted to check rows of trees are planted to check the soil erosion. For example, rows, one row, second row, third row. So even if the wind or water is moving with the top part, these rows of trees are going to stop the soil erosion, children. Alright, so I'm going to attach certain pictures of terrace farming, contour barriers, contour plowing, rock dams, to make you understand actually what is its functioning. I'm going to attach the pictures of these with this presentation, children. Alright, so you are able to understand it better. Now, children, let us put a break on this explanation for today, so that you people are clear with one concept at a time. I would highly recommend you that whatever is being taught, it is not that too much that you cannot go through the chapter and match up with the content given in the PDF. So children, read the chapter and listen to the explanation, so that we both can get into the best working of this learning and teaching system of online classes, so that it is helping you in the best possible way. Thank you so much, children, and have a good day ahead. But please do study the chapter. The only thing I am going to attach with it is the pictures of different type of measures of soil conservation. I am not giving you any assignment. I am not giving you any written work in this class, so that you go through the chapter from the beginning and understand and read the chapter ahead, so that we can start with water resources in the next class nicely. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.